Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. I know it's a little bit late, so I am really excited that you are here. Drop a comment. Let me know where you are watching from. I'm curious. I am in Indianapolis right now, and it's not too cold. It's almost summer, so I'm pretty excited. So I will be checking the comments. So if you have any questions throughout, let me know. But I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to hop right into it. So 3 years ago, around this time, actually around April, I got pre-approved for a mortgage for $350,000. This was for my second house. But 5 months before that, I had been denied a mortgage because my credit score was too low. I had confidently walked in. I thought my score was good. I thought I was good to go, and I got a swift no. And yeah, I thought my score was 680. So I don't want this to happen to you. So this is why I'm doing this live today, so that you aren't in the same position. Hello, is it Etani? Man, I'm usually pretty good with names, but I cannot pronounce this. I am really, really sorry. Last name Rodriguez from Connecticut. Thank you so much for joining. So if this is the first time that you are here, my name is Nobu with MakingSenseOfDebt.com, where we discuss understanding finances, leveraging debt, and finding your financial freedom, whatever that looks like to you. So for me, financial freedom is through real estate. This is why I'm super, super passionate about this topic of buying property. Because a year ago, I actually was able to quit my job. And the major reason why I was able to do that is because I had bought property 9 years before that allowed me to do so. And so, especially for women, I think it's super important to buy real estate to secure your future. And so that's why I'm talking about this today. So back to my story about being denied for that mortgage. So when I applied for this mortgage, I thought my score was 680. So now you might be wondering, if your score was a 680, why did you say that the lender said your score was 525? I think it was 525, 25, something like that. And while I was getting ready to buy this house, I was using Credit Karma to track my credit score. And so I was confident. I knew that 680 was more than enough to get my mortgage. I was ready to go. And so when I got this denial, I asked for the reason why, which is super important. And the reason that I got was that my credit score was too low. And so I quickly went onto my best friend Google and I looked up to understand why the heck Credit Karma telling me 680, but then my lender's telling me that my score is 525. And this is when I learned about Vantage Score and FICO scores. Now, I'm curious, if you use Credit Karma to track your score, drop a CK in the comments. I'm very curious. I know a lot of people do. Most people that I speak to absolutely use Credit Karma. But the issue with Credit Karma and a whole bunch of other different trackers is they're not using a FICO score. And not only do you need a FICO score, it's even more complicated than that. So I see no CKs in the comments. I'm going to ask, how many credit scores do you think that you have? Do you think that it's 1? Do you think that it's 2? Do you think that it's 500? Let me know. Even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put your guesses in there. I was surprised to learn that we have hundreds of credit scores. Yeah. And so when I learned that, not only was there this Vantage versus FICO, there was so many different scores within that. And so for your mortgage specifically, you can't be using Credit Karma. You can't be using Wallet Hub. You can't be using Credit Sesame. You can't be using your FICO 8. It needs to be your mortgage FICO score specifically. That is FICO 5, FICO 4, FICO 2. And the only place that you can get that is at myfico.com. So if you go to myfico.com, you can get that if you want to look it up yourself. The only other place you can get that if you don't want to look it up yourself is by actually going to a lender, and a lender will run your credit and they will look up your mortgage FICO scores specifically, and they will tell you what that is. They are required to tell you, anytime a lender looks up your credit, they are required to tell you what the scores are that go along with that. So if you don't want to pay the fee, which I think it's $40 to get your three FICO scores, all your FICO scores. If you don't want to pay that, you can go ahead and talk to a lender. They'll run your report and they will tell you what your mortgage FICO score is specifically. Now, if you might be saying, okay, well, but I have Experian and I know I got my FICO score, or I know Navy Federal gives you FICO score as well. But the issue with getting a FICO score is that the issue if you are trying to buy a house is that a FICO score is not what your mortgage lender is going to look at. They're going to look at your mortgage FICO score specifically. So if you're not looking at that, if you need to fix your credit and you're using Credit Karma or you're using Experian, you're looking at your FICO 8 only, or you're looking at Navy Federal, looking at your FICO 9 only, that is not what your lender is going to use, right? So there are things that you can, certain actions that you take that are going to affect your FICO 8 differently than it's going to affect your mortgage scores, right? And even more so if you're using a Credit Karma. That's like absolutely using Credit Karma to track your credit progress if you are trying to buy a house is a total waste of time. Credit Karma, when you're trying to buy a house, in terms of the actual score, there are other uses, but in terms of the actual score, Credit Karma is a waste of your time. It is, I want to say garbage, but it is not helpful. So here's a good example. Whenever you're looking at a Vantage score, if you pay off a card, if you pay it off in full, your Vantage score is going to tank. So if you're looking at Credit Karma and you pay off a credit card, if you pay it down to 0, your score on Credit Karma is going to drop a lot. Could be 40, 50, 80 points it could drop. So if you're using that to track your scores because you want to improve your score to buy your house, that is going to lead to you thinking, oh, I'm not ready. Oh, I need to do more. Or I shouldn't pay this card. And that would be incorrect. Because if you went and you looked at your mortgage FICO score, you'll see that when you pay off that card, it actually makes a big difference and it's going to bump up your score for your mortgage scores. And so if you know you need to fix your score, right? You need to start with a good base, a good foundation, right? So if you're working hard to fix a score and it's not even the score that your bank is going to look at, then how is that helpful, right? That is a complete waste of time. You need to start with a good foundation. Like if you're going to build a house, if you're building that house on, what do they say, straws, it's going to fall apart. So don't spend your time and your energy going crazy focusing on your Vantage score or even any other FICO score. You need to check your mortgage FICO score specifically. Start with that. And once you know that number, then you are at least understanding what your baseline is, a correct baseline, so you know what the real work that you need to do is, right? If you're if you're considering houses right now and you have a lender that you're planning on talking to, ask them how many times people go to them and they show them a Credit Karma score and they think that score is good, and they come to find out they get denied. Ask your lender and they will tell you all kinds of stories about them. And so again, the place that you want to go to get your mortgage FICO score, which is what you are going to need, you're going to need your Experian, your TransUnion, and your Equifax scores, your mortgage scores specifically, And out of those 3 scores, the middle score is what will be used to qualify you for a mortgage loan. The only place you can get that is at www.myfico.com, or you can talk to a lender. A lender will run your report and check your scores and let you know what your mortgage FICO score is specifically. Don't be like me. Don't walk in thinking that you are ready to buy a house and then be completely disappointed. I'm checking the chat. If you have any questions, just put 3 question marks and then drop your question in there. So if you're watching on YouTube, in the description box, if you open that up, there is a link in there to myfico.com, which is where you want to go to check your mortgage scores. I don't have Facebook open right now, but I will drop a link in there after, so you can go ahead and take a look, so that you are not starting from the wrong baseline. If this type of information is helpful for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, so you don't miss any other videos. And if you are someone that, especially if you're a female, if you need help, right? You know your scores, you know you need to do more, but you need extra guidance. You're not sure on where to go from that. Find my Instagram information, which is right in the description box as well, or it's also well, it should have been here, but it's not. It's making sense of debt, making sense of debt at Instagram. You have to make sure you put the dots in there, because if you do not, you will not be able to find me. All right, what questions do y'all have about credit scores for mortgages? I'm just checking the chat. All right. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop a comment. Even if you're watching the replay, I will go ahead and respond. But any questions about finding the right mortgage, making sure you don't have the same situation as me, drop me a comment or shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I will get right back to you. So until next time, take care.